What's good, Ravens fans? It's your boy JG. Welcome back to the Ravens Space. And today I want to talk to you guys about elevation. And you guys know what elevation is. It's the ability to push your team higher and farther than other players push their teams. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's going to be something that probably happens at the end of the season where Justin Fields, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, breaks Lamar Jackson's single season rushing record. Now, even though I think he plays one more game than Lamar did, that's still an accomplishment that is important to note, again, especially in today's league where so much of the quarterbacks are athletic. However, there's something that must be pointed out, and that's the fact that even though Justin Fields is a talent and Justin Fields is doing well, his team is 3-13. Now, I don't really care about that from the Bears perspective, but what I do care about that is from the Ravens perspective. What does that tell you? That tells you that being a dynamic runner isn't enough. That means Lamar Jackson has something else. You guys might say the team, and in a lot of cases, I would agree. However, we need to go back to last season when the running backs were injured, where receivers were injured, where, again, linemen were injured. Ronnie Stanley was gone. So much was wrong. Last season, the offense for the Ravens had less talent because of injuries than the Bears offense does this season. Last year, the defense for the Ravens were obliterated much more than the Bears defense this season going into the season. So why are the Bears a terrible team? But last season, when Lamar Jackson literally was just him, Hollywood Brown sometimes, not all the time, sometimes, why were they able to get it done? Why were they able, with Lamar Jackson healthy, why were they able to be first place in their division and Justin Fields can't win more than 3 games? I'll tell you why. Because Lamar Jackson has the elevation ability and currently Justin Fields does not. And the elevation ability, the elevation principle, as some say, is the ability to make those around you better. That is a trait that all teams are looking for. Not just the Ravens, not just the Bears, all teams. We see, for example, Patrick Mahomes. You lose Tyreek Hill. However, the offense doesn't lose a beat. The reason is because Patrick Mahomes is enough to get the job done. Now, I want to bring this up again, not to talk any bad things about the Bears or their quarterback, but to talk bad about the Ravens and their front office. It's obvious to all fans now. It's obvious to us now that every time Lamar Jackson is not in the lineup, the Ravens get worse. One would even argue we could lose a game to the Bears. Justin Fields is young. He doesn't have the ability to make those around him better yet. He has the ability to be great, but not to make those around him better. Lamar Jackson makes those around him better. He makes Greg Roman better. He makes John Harbaugh better. He makes the defense better. He makes the offense better. He makes the offensive line better. We for sure knows he makes Mark Andrews better. Look at what happens to Mark Andrews when he's not in the lineup. We for sure know that he makes Gus Edwards better. Look at Gus Edwards' numbers before and after Lamar Jackson's injuries. We sure know he makes the receivers better. The receivers don't even get balls thrown at them when Lamar is not in the lineup, ladies and gentlemen. We have to break this down and be honest. The reason that Lamar Jackson is special isn't because of his ability to run. It's not because of his ability to pass. It's not even because of his ability to be creative at the point of attack. It's because he makes the team greater than the sum of their parts. And that is something that we need to take into account. When Greg Roman calls a bad play, who keeps the play alive? What happens when Greg Roman calls a play and it's Tyler Huntley in the game, right? I know a lot of you guys like to think that, other coordinators don't call bad plays in the league. It's only the Ravens. It's not true. Andy Reid calls bad plays. We're even seeing right now, currently, in teams like the Patriots, what happens when you're calling bad plays and you don't have Tom Brady there to change the play or to make the right read or to get the ball out safely. We know as Ravens fans, when you're calling a bad play, When you, for example, you abandon the run like Greg Roman did, and one of our most recent losses, that Lamar Jackson has the skills to make you look smart because he can pass the ball and he can also run the ball, which still keeps people in the box. We know that. When Tyler Huntley's in the game, you don't have that. And that is just 100% the case. And we need to also take that into account. A lot of fans, and again, guys, I don't want to pick on you guys. I do this too sometimes. We only take into account what we see. We only take into account these type of things. We only take into account the passing. We only take into account the stats. We only take into account the highlights. However, you can easily say that this season, Justin Fields has more highlights than Lamar Jackson. Justin Fields has better rushing yards than Lamar Jackson. I don't think that makes Justin Fields a better rusher. I honestly think that means that Justin Fields has more shots on ball. And everyone knows that if you let Justin Fields run for 100 yards, it doesn't matter. And that's the biggest thing we need to take into account. There are some players who get yards and get stats, and those stats do not matter. The fact of the matter is Justin Fields, even though he will probably be the single season rushing leader, has had a less impactful season than every single season Lamar Jackson has played in the NFL. This season for Justin Fields will be the greatest running season of a quarterback ever by stats. However, it is the least impactful of any season any of these great running quarterbacks have had on that list. And the reason is that when Lamar Jackson runs the ball, he's trying to win games. When Lamar Jackson runs the ball, not only is he trying to win games, he is winning games. His runs are impactful. His runs change the tenor of the game. His runs are demoralizing for a defense. His runs are putting the game away. His runs are setting up play action passes. His runs are allowing tight ends to get open. These things matter. His runs are making the job on the offensive lineman easier. They're getting them out of trouble. The offensive line misses a block. Lamar Jackson has it. That's not happening for other running quarterbacks. This is what separates Lamar Jackson from other running quarterbacks, right? Not only is he doing it, but he's doing it without the same amount of talent. Justin Fields is a great running quarterback, and we could argue he doesn't have the talent, but he has enough talent to win more than 3 games if he's breaking records. We have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts who isn't breaking records with his legs, but his team has the best record in football. However, he has much more talent than any other running quarterback in the league. But for some reason, Lamar Jackson is taking less talent, however, having more of an impact than other quarterbacks in the league. This is important, and this shows the value to Lamar Jackson. Steve Bisciotti, please, the fans are begging you. We've seen enough. We know Lamar Jackson is the reason that we win games. It's not John Harbaugh, because without Lamar Jackson in the past couple of years, John Harbaugh has not been doing well. And we can even argue that John Harbaugh's Super Bowl was more of a result of Joe Flacco getting hot than it was of John Harbaugh's excellency in coaching. Because if you look at the record with Lamar Jackson and without Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh is an average coach without Lamar Jackson. But when you add in Lamar Jackson over these past 4 or 5 years, he is one of the best coaches in the NFL. A lot of you guys believe that. A lot of you guys are saying that to me all the time. I still think there's a chance that John Harbaugh can be great, but we have to understand that what really moves the Ravens, what really pushes the gears forward, what really gets the Ravens moving in the right direction and grooving in the right direction is Lamar Jackson and his ability to make everyone around him better, which other running quarterbacks do not necessarily do, even if they have numbers that will surpass Lamar Jackson. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. Go Ravens, and talk to you next time at the Raven Space.